Hello, it's Chris from MyStampLady.com, and I'm here with the Touches of Texture video. So this video is all about this card and how I got the background and this flower from one stamp set. So this is a Touches of Texture video, and I'm using this flower here. Oh, so I have a little bit of glare. That flower there, and then some of the backgrounds. Now, I believe in trying to use as minimal supplies, but there's not a sentiment included in that set, so I did pull out my Beautiful You sentiment stamp set to use this So Happy For You sentiment. So this is a pretty basic card. I've been stamping for a long time. I'm hitting 20 years on being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I have found that I am the type of card maker that doesn't like a lot of extra, well, it needs to be quick. I like to have it fairly quick. So that's what I'm doing here. So let's start with my focal image. And I have the flower. So that's, let's see here, this flower here. And we're going to stamp that with the archival stamping pad because I am using the blender pen over that. So ink that up with my archival black ink pad. It is archival, which means it'll take watercolor better than our other black ink pad. But know with that you will get some staining on your stamps. You can go ahead and stamp that sentiment right away. The So Happy For You. There we go. Okay, so set that aside. Especially on your photopolymer stamps, you'll get a lot of staining from this particular ink pad. So if you want to prevent that, go ahead and wash that right away. Wash your stamp right away. The red rubber, not quite staining so much. So this is the blender pen. I am using a blender pen instead of an aqua painter. An aqua painter is one of my very favorite ways to watercolor, but I get a little more control with the blender pen. Now you saw me, maybe you didn't notice, I was squeezing my ink pad. I gave it a little bit of pressure to press some ink into that top. And then I'm just going to grab color. This is Flirty Flamingo, and I'm coloring my open blooms with the Flirty Flamingo. This is the lighter of the red or pinks that I'm using, kind of in the red line here. And the blender pen has a liquid in it. That is what I'm using to pick up that ink from the ink pad. And then it's just spreading it onto my Whisper White cardstock, which is what I have stamped this onto. Now I have the Rose Red. I will, let's see, I'm going to add a little bit of ink to that. So I've pressed that in. This is a darker red. I'm going to color the full, or the folded, sorry, not the full, but the folded, the flowers waiting to bloom here. And I'm adding a little bit in the center of my open flowers here, a little darker color. So this is Rose Red, and I had the Flirty Flamingo. Now I'm going into a different color, so I'm just brushing off my blender pen, and then I can go in and still use it, even though there's a little bit of a stain in there, but that's just how you switch colors with a blender pen. Brush it off onto scrap paper. I am doing this quickly. I'm not worrying about doing different colors and adding darker and lighter, just a quick color. And it's easy to do with the ink pads and the blender pen. This is Wild Wasabi. There we go. I have that all colored, and I can put my blender pen away now. So with the crushed curry, I'm going to stamp a bee kind of up in here. And then I have the little splatter background. I don't want this full strength. I want this softer down off to the side. So I've stamped it off onto my scrap paper. I have a little lighter crushed curry there with that. Pull in that background, and I can stamp this up, make sure it opens the correct way. And I'm going to use, this is, let's see, I'm using this image here from this Touches of Texture. And we'll use the Flirty Flamingo, ink that up. I'm just kind of putting a point to kind of ground that. There we go. Okay, put a couple of rows of that pattern on there. I'm going to bring back in my crushed curry And this time I'm using that same splatter background, but I'm going to use it full strength this time. And I'm just adding a little bit of color across the top there. I have a piece, let me see, I'm putting down my focal piece here, and we're just matting that with a piece of rose red cardstock, and it's 1/8 inch larger than my focal piece. Okay, now I am going to put down my ribbon, but I want to kind of see where I want that. I'm going to put that just right at the bottom edge here of that stamping. You know, I stamped my sample and then I stamped this one, and sometimes I don't hit the exact same spot, and so that was why I was just kind of checking that with my focal piece. Let's put some dimensionals so we have it kind of popped up against the, gives it a little bit of dimension. It's popped up from the background. I'm just going to place that down on my card front. This is a simple, quick spring card. We still have, believe it or not, I live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and we still have several feet of snow on the ground. So I'm really looking for spring, really wanting it. And so that's what kind of motivated me with the spring colors here. Lots and lots of snow. We usually get about 200 inches in a year, so it's not uncommon to have that much snow still. Okay, so we will put, oh, I put a little bit more than a little dot of glue there, but it will dry. So we're going to just plop that in there and let that dry. Okay, to finish this card, I want to draw, I thought it needed just a bit more, and I wanted to draw my eye down and around this sentiment. So I found this at a big box store. It's found it in the postal area, super color marker, but it is an alcohol marker and it's black, and it works awesome for coloring these rhinestones. And so that's what I'm doing here. It dries quickly, it stays black, the black stays on. Give that a quick second to dry, and then I'll pop those off and put those on the card front. It's dried. I think I started to say, and I'm not sure I finished. I found that in like the mailing where you mail your packages, and it's designed to cross out an address on a package. So that's where you can find that. I just found it in a discount at a big box discount store, and it's awesome. I love it for making my rhinestones black. It dries quickly, it's alcohol, and it works beautifully. So there's my Touches of Texture Spring Happy card, happy for someone. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, Chris at mystamplady.com. And I have all the links below and on my blog for my online store where you can find all these supplies. Shop with mystamplady.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.